Ken Dorsey, Miami legend, was with the Carolina Panthers coaching staff. He's the current offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, the Panthers Norte. Looks like he's going to schedule an interview with the Carolina Panthers this weekend or after the game is done between the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals. That one does not come as a surprise to me, given where David Tepper has been looking for his head coaching candidates, Joe. And Dorsey is one of these guys who's going to get continued looks for his work with the Buffalo Bills. It's only a matter of time before he gets an opportunity. That one does not surprise me. But I feel like David Tepper, the owner of the Panthers, is just kind of going through the motions when it comes to interviewing all these. It's almost like he's playing out the string, interviewing as many people as he possibly can. People say, oh, no. Joe, he's doing his due diligence. Nah, I think he's just doing this to bide his time and waiting for the real coaching candidate that he wants, and that is Sean Payton. This is from Mark Maskey, who is a longtime insider for the Washington Post. Love his work. And he tweeted out this afternoon, Giglio, Panthers owner David Tepper would give Sean Payton, quote, just about anything he wants to be the team's coach, one source says. It's not clear, however, how enthusiastic Payton is at this point about the opportunity in Carolina. Mark continues, the Broncos remain in very strong position to be able to get Sean Payton, whatever the interest level by the other teams. They have the NFL's wealthiest owners. Payton has told associates that he likes the Broncos' stable ownership and is willing to work with Russell Wilson. Again, that's from Mark Maskey with the Washington Post. But let's get back to his original statement that he got from a source, just about anything he wants Sean Payton to be the team's coach. Like, does David Tepper not learn his lessons when it comes to this stuff?
Not only with learning a lesson about throwing money at a coach, you have to pretty much give up a first-round pick to get Sean Payton. You really think Sean Payton's worth the number 9 pick in the draft? He's 60 years old. I think he's a good coach. Please don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But do you really think Sean Payton's going to come in and let's just say we'll go with total recency bias?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's going to come in and do what Brian Daboll did in year 1 with the Giants? Do you think he's going to come in and do what Mike McDaniel did at Miami in the first year, i.e., take the existing group?
Mm-hmm.
Miami's case, they did add Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Okay. Giants' case, they hit on their first-round pick for sure. Okay. But Daboll worked magic. Like, for the money you're going to have to pay him, $10, $11, $12 million a year, which is the going rate now for a Super Bowl winning coach, which is what Sean Payton is, and a first-round pick, is he going to come in and go 11-7, 11-6?
Look,
I don't think so.
I would be very wary of an individual who insisted on making Taysom Hill a thing.
I also do think let's think of this in terms of baseball, like WAR, wins above replacement, right? I think the ceiling for Sean Payton is 11-6. I think you can get a good coordinator in there and go 9-8, 10-7, without much magic, is what I'm getting at.
Here's where I'm
without giving up the first round pick, without paying 12. I mean, the money doesn't matter. Whatever he pays Sean Payton doesn't matter.
The money doesn't matter.
It's not our money. I hate when people act like that.
And there's no salary cap on coaches.
No, there's
so he can do whatever he wants with the money. All right. So let's take that off the table. As I said yesterday, if I'm Steve Wilkes and I'm arguing for the job, I lean into that, saying, look, I have a command of this room.
Which has already been demonstrated.
I have a command of this room. Look what I did with the lemons I was left with. I mean, I almost made the playoffs. I went 6-6.
Made some tasty lemonade.
Can't say the same about the last guy you just threw $6 million at in Matt Rule. Okay, you don't trust my ability to be offensive minded. Fine, or you want to advance. All right, cool. Let's go write that check and go get an offensive coordinator. Now, the problem with that is if you bring somebody in, the chances of, if they do well, they're probably going to be head coach material somewhere else. That's just the way the game is played.
That's a great thing to happen, though.
But that's a good thing to happen. You know, you like, hey, I'm smart enough to have brought this guy in. Now he's off to go do something else. Regardless, my fear is, or what the pattern I'm noticing with David Tepper, is that he's not actually interested in putting together a plan to have a successful football franchise. He's just a dude with a bunch of money who just, I want this, I want this, I want the thing that makes headlines. I like Sean Payton. He's been successful. Bring me Sean Payton. I'll do whatever it takes. Do you know who he sounds like? There's two owners that come to mind, and I'll let you do the math on how successful those two owners have been.
One of them's Dan Snyder, and he's been really bad.
Dan Snyder did the same damn thing for the longest time when he took over for the Washington football team.
I'm going to go give Dan Wilkerson this obscene contract that no one else will.
Right. And then it just fails miserably, and then you're back to the drawing board. You know who else does this? Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones does the whole thing where he falls in love with something, where he loves the headlines, he loves being talked about all the time. He's been in that whole Sean Payton connection. Is it the sweepstakes?
Yeah, Sean Payton worked there for Bill Parcells.
If Mike, this idea that just because Mike McCarthy won one playoff game this week doesn't mean that he still can't get fired if they get bounced this weekend by the San Francisco 49ers. There's precedent for it. And if there's a better guy down the line, I think most people would understand. So don't put it past Jerry Jones to get in on the Sean Payton sweepstakes if they get bounced this weekend.
Yeah, I don't buy Sean Payton to Denver, by the way.
I don't buy that either.
I don't buy it. They do have the Dolphins draft pick that they got for getting Bradley Chubb. They traded Bradley Chubb, remember?
So,
but I don't. If I'm Sean Payton, I'm 60 years old, Joe. I'm going somewhere where I want to win like yesterday. I'm not going to bang my head up against Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert 4 times a year. No, thank you.
Yeah. So here's the other thing to consider with David Tepper. If I'm trying to generate demand or leverage, I know who to get involved with this now. Because it's not just the coaching sweepstakes. We saw this with quarterback too.
Yeah.
They were chasing Matt Stafford.
They've chased everybody.
They chased
Deshaun Watson.
And it's going to be the thing that they're going to continue to do. But at some point, David Tepper has to have the realization, I have all this money. I could theoretically get these guys, but they don't want to come here. They keep going other places. What's wrong? What's going on? You know what? Screw it. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do it my own way. That, to me, is the play. It's strange to me that David Tepper, when he took over and they got rid of Ron Rivera, or a mutual parting of ways, he was willing to deal with some years of suffering in order for the big picture. Has he actually done that? No. All they've ever done since they got rid of Ron Rivera is chase the next thing that they think is going to be the easy fix. That gets you nowhere. I'm not saying it's an unserious way of going about building a football team, but it clearly is the wrong way to do it because there are no quick fixes for what he's trying to do, especially when it comes to quarterback. Not in this thing. I mean, you don't have the leverage to go and get Lamar Jackson from the Baltimore Ravens, even if the Baltimore Ravens are willing to listen for trades, and apparently they are, according to some reports that I've seen. But you don't have the material for that either. So you have to go about it a different way. But they're not doing it. And it's pretty frustrating right now.
I would absolutely trade the number 9 pick for Lamar Jackson.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. But that might not be enough.
Sean Payton.
That might not be enough for the Baltimore Ravens.